This is so awesome, man. We're here with Jabari Thomas from WTSP, amongst like other many other things. This guy is a jack of all trades, incredible, man. And I just want to turn it over to you right away and like get into it, man. And you kind of tell us about yourself, man, and your journey.
Where do I start?
I would say maybe back in New Orleans.
New Orleans,
Yeah.
all right. Fast forward past film. Well, actually, I still did movies in New Orleans. I kind of was doing more of entertainment reporting back then, just working my way up the ladder to become, hopefully, one day a TV host. So, yeah, there was a lot of stuff that went down there.
Ooh, stuff. When you say stuff, like, can we dig into a little bit of that?
Some of it.
Or what about the beginning? Like I read that you started out in your church's media ministry at 11 or 12.
Yeah. Well, you don't go back there.
Yeah,
Ooh,
back.
She done did some
She
research.
didn't pull out the Google.
Yeah.
Thank God for
You used to have to go to a library to look up information about people in this long encyclopedia, alphabeted from A to Z. Now it's just Google.
True.
This is true.
Well, my mom went to this church and she liked this doctrine type of preaching. And so we went to this all white church basically, and they had this multi-million-dollar studio. And I remember when I was younger and I'd go down the hall and I'd pass through this building and the studio would be behind these closed doors, these glass doors. And it'd be so mysterious. I'm only 11, right? I'm only 12.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, what's back there? I just remember it's the studio. It's where all the cameras and they operate. And I remember going into this cold studio and just seeing it was like a production studio. And then you go into another room. And then it's like basically where the director was and all the camera angles. And I immediately was like, my eyes were open to something that was so awesome. It was dark. It was chill. Like, I don't know what the hell chill is at 11, but it was chill. And so I asked the guy who was over the media ministry at the time, I said, hey, can I work here? And he was basically saying, Mr. I forgot his name, Mr. Pennell, that's his name.
Oh, wow.
Old white guy. Really nice. He gave me such a great opportunity too. He's passed away, but he gave me the opportunity, but he was strict. He was real strict. When I skipped Sunday school, he was right there looking at me. Where are you supposed to be, son? I'm in there. I'm just editing, doing something. You supposed to be in Sunday school. Anyway.
The power of ask.
Yeah.
You asked him.
Yeah, no, I asked, and he was basically like, wait till you get older. So I was 12, I was 12, and then they let me get inside the church and operate cameras.
Wow.
Which the service was live, so you get live tally at an age of 12. That's pretty big deal. I mean, I guess if you look at it, because it was on TV live, but I did that for so many years and got good at it and just understood how the director would talk to you in your ear and learn like the process of it all. And then I was like, I want to direct. Then my friend Kevin, oh boy, I love Kevin, by the way. I actually have a podcast and I talk about Kevin, and I tell everybody needs a Kevin, or everybody should have a Kevin in their life because he looked after me. And he gave me opportunity. He snuck behind Mr. Pennell's back to get me things that he wasn't allowed to give me, like editing equipment or cameras. Now, me and my mom are the only black people in this church out of like 3,000 members. So, you got to think about the atmosphere too. The times back, it was just a little bit different. And it's in Louisiana.
Right. And what year?
At a Baptist church.
What year?
Ooh. Well, I'm 34 now, so when I was 12, help me out, somebody. This is where I'm not good at.
Right, math.
18 years?
Yeah. Oh, no.
No.
Yeah, right.
34.
Yeah.
No,
34.
I'm sorry. Minus.
You may be right.
12.
Yeah, 18 years, right? 12, 24, 34, 20 years.
22 years ago. So
Years,
what are we like?
it would be
2001?
2000. No?
2001.
2001.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right, because it's middle school. Yeah,
Oh, sorry, bad
Y2K.
Yeah.
Thanks,
no worries.
Chris.
No worries. I got you.
Y2K.
He's good with numbers.
Y2K.
That's good. So yeah. And they were basically like, wait till you become a teenager or a little bit older or in high school, I believe it was, because they didn't want a guy. I'm pretty sure they meant they didn't want a black guy telling all these white people what to do behind the cameras. Anyway, they told me I was too young to do it. And they said, wait till I get a little bit older. I said, okay. But not Kevin, though. Kevin didn't mind. It was the people above him that didn't really want me to do anything. I mean, I'm just, I'm going for it. Anyway, so in the meantime, I learned how to edit at the age of like 13. That's where I get those skills. I shoot videos and stuff like that. Me and my friend Eddie, I met him. He's old as hell now. Still smoking those cigarettes.
Uh-oh.
Life is tough, bro. It is tough. So I love him to death, man. That's my film buddy. We went on to I directed 3 films. He was my first AD, first assistant director on all of them, and helped me produce and write
Wow.
a couple of them.
Directed 3 films, yo.
Yeah.
What were the films on?
Well, they're terrible now.
Uh-oh.
But back then,
They were good?
before the iPhones and before the technology of the black box camera and the Panasonic camera. Well, they had Panasonic, but it was like crazy hell expensive. Like, it's unaffordable. But with the help of Kevin and some other resources, I was able to gather some resources together to actually make a movie, because it wasn't easy back then. But I did what I could with what I had. And me and Eddie would get these people together and make movies.
Wow.
And be serious about it, because I used to sneak on movie sets. Another story. This is where it's going to take a different turn. During Hurricane Katrina, I'm from northern Louisiana, but Katrina devastated, of course, New Orleans. And New Orleans is kind of like a film capital, right? Mm-hmm. I'm from Shreveport. It's 5 hours north. The film industry had no place to go. Actually, Big Mama's House 2 was the last film to film in New Orleans before the hurricane. They actually left on evacuation day.
Wow.
But the movie industry moved up to Shreveport, and this is where I kind of snuck on movie sets. I was already into TV, right? So I snuck on movie sets, and I was like, wow, this is a whole different ball game. This is not media ministry and church, and this is like people cussing. Black people working on this set. It's Hollywood. But it's a lot of. If you never worked on a movie, you're there for like 15 hours, like 16-hour days. It's a lot of dedication. Business. Yeah, I did it. I skipped school.
Wow, sacrifice.
Yeah,
you sacrificed your education.
Yeah. I wasn't thinking about that.
I know.
My education was film. I thought in my head.
Right on.
Which was another segment I had in my podcast. I skipped school because I wanted to skip to be on a movie set, because I found my passion and the only thing that would make me happy, and where I thought I could make something out of this. And I saw myself in the future doing this.
You discovered your purpose at a young age.
A little bit, yeah.
That's that's awesome.
I mean, a lot of people do. I think the key is...
I don't know about that.
Is everybody has a dream, I think, of some way, or have thought of something that they could do for the rest of their lives.
Yeah.
I think it is the commitment. The process of the commitment is what stops people.
Ooh.
And there are so many levels to committing. Of course, a lot of people think commitment is about relationships, and it is, but it's also, not giving up. For worse or for poorer, as the wedding vow would say, for richer or for poorer, sorry. If you die, I die. We ride and die. I don't know. I never been married.
But you're learning your commitment in a different way through media.
Right. And if you can withstand, the hard times and overcome those and still see yourself in that position because you feel like you deserve it, and you feel like this is the only thing that makes you happy, then, you just say the hell with the bad stuff. You maybe sit in a dark room for a little bit, but you get out and you just keep going. It's what drives me, because I can't sleep. I take too much time off of work, and I'm like, wow, I'm losing my purpose. Like, I need to find something to do.
Mm-hmm. Yo, that's strong.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I did the movies for a little while. That's another long story. We ain't got the time, Hercules.
Well, it says you acted on Pitch Perfect.
Yeah, that
was that in Shreveport.
Baton Rouge is
Baton
where they
Rouge,
filmed
okay.
that.
Oh, okay,
But
gotcha.
that's a whole different era of my life.
Oh, sorry, I don't mean to throw you around.
We're not going to talk about me fleeing to Mexico and being a stripper. That's another story.
Yeah, we got to get that story.
No.
Maybe not
That
this.
Well, you got to go to Jabari's podcast to get.
I
this
don't
stuff.
even put
There's
that
some
on-
stuff he has to like kind of.
I don't even put that on my own podcast.
Oh,
but
man.
I was young. I was stupid.
I did see something about a thong and not.
That was actually for a Disney project, an ABC show, CGI.
Jabari
stuff.
wears a thong.
Yeah,
I love it.
It's a purpose out of that. But sometimes you got to do some crazy shit on ABC.
On ABC.
It's a family station, so you got to think it wasn't that bad. Where was it? Where were we?
You said you were in Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, there was a
And then
Baton
a
Rouge.
stripper
up in
in
Baton
Oh,
Rouge.
Mexico.
Yeah. Okay.
Mexico, yeah.
You just had to bring up the stripper. So after I had lost my mind, and let me tell you something, you will give up. So I think everybody will have a moment where, especially when you're younger, that's when I experienced it, where you kind of give up. I had done a talk show too called Late Night South with Jabari. It aired on Fox. It was formatted like a late night show, and I did like 9 episodes. I'm like 19, and I'm pulling together all these resources. Anyway, it got expensive. I got kind of, I guess, distracted from film and then TV, because TV was really hard, and you get rejected a lot when you're trying to sell it. And I just got into a dark place, and I said the hell with it. So I went to Mexico, and I was there for a while. Of course, I missed it a little bit. I was about to be a teacher in Mexico,
When you say a while, how long were you there?
like 7 months.
Oh, you were living there.
Yeah, I came back for an ex, but we're not going to get into that. But
Okay.
that only lasted for a month. However, I needed a job to basically sustain myself in the meantime. So I hit up my friend that worked at a TV station, and of course I went back into auditioning. Of course, you audition 1,000 times before you get your first role, right? So I kept doing that. And I worked at the TV station to kind of sustain myself, making $7.40 an hour.
Ooh.
I was a PA, Chiron operator, which is the people that punches up on the screen, the titles on the bottom of the screen. Big money, right? And a studio camera operator. And I just remember when I first got back, though, I was like, I can't do the job yet because I got hired to do this show called Dead of Night. It was on the Discover ID show. I played a dead guy that got murdered in New Orleans. So they sent me to New Orleans and put me up. I took my mom with me. That was so much fun. And we shot
awesome.
that. Yeah, we shot that, and I was just like, this is nice. It's just really nice to be back. And by the way, during that moment in Mexico, before then, I had shaved off my hair, so I really lost my mind.
Oh goodness.
I had a fade, dude.
Wow.
Sort of. Kind of like James Brown some days. Kind of like
Really?
almost, yeah.
Oh, almost
it was
like me.
bad. I was doing all kind of stuff. Try to I think everybody has a Britney Spears moment. I
You
guess,
were
when
finding
shave it all off.
yourself. Yeah.
Yeah, and now that I know that my hair isn't my brand, and I would never do that.
Now you look like Samson.
Who?
Samson. in
Black
the Bible.
Samson, the way we would imagine him.
Your hair is your strength.
A lot of people told me not to cut it. Samuel Jackson's hairstylist, Robert, I believe his name was. He was like, "Don't cut it."
And he didn't get into film until he was like in his 40s.
40s,
Yeah.
Coming to America.
Yeah.
His first one. Antoine Fuqua, the director, he told me not to cut it, and eventually I learned not to cut it.
What is he a director of?
Training Day.
Oh, wow.
Magnificent Seven. He just did another one. I forgot what it was.
I love Training Day. That was,
Dissipation with Will Smith, I think.
Okay.
I think. So
Officer Hoyt.
I'm back. Yeah. And I do this thing, and I get a call, or I go down to New Orleans. Actually, I went to Baton Rouge to audition for Pitch Perfect. Nobody knows what the hell Pitch Perfect is, right?
I didn't know you like to get wet, though.
What?
Butt naked. Ill. Dust.
What are we talking about?
PCP. Primo.
What are you talking about?
Is he
From
spazzing out?
it's from Training Day.
Okay.
He's talking to Officer Hoyt. Remember when he gets all like, he gives him the drugs?
I wasn't following.
I was
that.
like, was he there in Mexico? I can't understand.
Yo, that used to be my jam, man. That was my movie back in high school. But anyways, right?
He follow me on the plane from Mexico? What happened? I'm just teasing. So I get down there to Baton Rouge into the production, and back then it was like not digital, so like you couldn't really record auditions. You had to go to it. So I drove 5 hours down, 5 hours back all the time to do auditions. A lot. And one of them was called Pitch Perfect. Nobody knows what the hell it is, right? It's new at the time. Like it's not a movie yet.
Okay, gotcha.
So it's just another opportunity for me. Like I'm not thinking, oh my God, it's Pitch Perfect.
Yeah.
You don't know what the hell this is. This could be a flop. It could be whatever. It could
One
be
thing leads to another. It's just an opportunity, though.
But I get in the office and I'm like, oh my God, it's Tracy. Tracy is the casting director that I completely bombed when I auditioned for The Great Debaters with Denzel Washington.
Oh, yeah.
3 years before. Bombed.
Why? How bummed? You
I was
forgot
so
the
new.
lines?
I was
What did
that too.
Oh.
And I ain't no debater. But I had to learn how to be one. Like I wasn't seasoned. I didn't know I had to study. I just couldn't read lines and memorize lines. I had to get into the lines, you know. So I'm green. And I go into this lady's, and this is like maybe my second audition ever. It's so embarrassing to tell this story because this is a no-no. I was because I was about to premiere my feature-length movie that I had done in high school. I brought all these posters and cards. I was like, here you go. You don't do this. You don't even shake hands. You're not supposed to shake hands with casting directors because it's germs. I'm hi. And I might as well have a damn whistle and a hat and just go in there and just parading through this woman's office. And I remember her just looking at me like, okay. And then she said everything. She kind of just put it to the side. I'm like, all right, this bitch. And
Pitch it to the side.
yeah, it's not personal. What you learn down the line is that you go in, you do your business, you get out. You audition, you get out. And I was just this happy kid, just ready to audition for this Denzel Washington movie. And we go over the lines. We get to the lines, and she reads me the lines. I forget my lines so bad that we just kind of stop in the middle, and I say, and I've never really failed like this before in front of people, where it's so noticeable to like Hollywood. Like it's like Hollywood staring you in the face. Like this is all you know. Like, right, this is your opportunity. And we stop right in the middle. I've never told this story. And we stop right in the middle. And she's like, all right, have a good day. I was like, thanks. I gave this woman all my poses. So this woman ain't gonna show up for my premiere. She's gonna think it's full of crap. And this woman, I had to audition in front of her again. Pitch Perfect. I booked it.
Nice.
Got it.
Wow.
Came back for the callback. They saw my resume that I was an MC. They had to put a black guy in the movie, I'm just saying. So they hired me to do it. And so I booked with Tracy. And so I had to learn a lot. Yeah, I had to learn a lot, you know. That was embarrassing. Now I can deal with casting directors where I know what to do. I show up, I sit in my seat. My lines are memorized from like second nature. I go in confident. I just sit there. I be quiet. Because there's this one casting director she don't smile. She's in her phone the entire time. She'll stop, put her phone down. She'll look at you and she'll say, go. And then she'll just start reading back with you. Like it's no time for it's just no time for it. You just go in, you do your deal and you leave. And that's something you just got to learn, you know, and just one of those things that I had to grow up and learn. So I booked Pitch Perfect.
Did that lead to something else after you did Pitch Perfect?
Not really.
Okay. I was trying to be like hopeful.
No, I mean, you were 19 when you did Pitch Perfect? How old were you?
I was like, oh man, I was maybe like 22, maybe 23.
Okay.
I learned something from it though, that's for sure. Yeah, but no, I remember coming back and next thing you know, it's closer to time. I'm working at the news station by now. I'm trying to work on being an entertainment reporter because I knew hard news wasn't for me. And so I'm trying to build a TV career now. Because I went to The Price is Right and got inspired by Drew Carey and said, I want to be a TV host.
Right on.
So I was like, I'll just deal with entertainment. So
you were on The Price is Right?
Yeah, that's another story in my podcast.
Dude, you've done a lot of stuff.
That's why I have a podcast.
Man, how do we get to that? Or how do people get to that podcast?
It's called Good Morning Beautiful People with Jabari.
And that's on what platforms?
All of them.
Good morning,
Okay.
beautiful people.
Yeah.
Beautiful people.
They're like only 5 or 6 minutes, 7 minutes.
That's
Oh,
perfect.
they're sure.
Yeah.
That's where
But
we
I
need
tell these stories.
Morning.
Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. You can catch all of our episodes on YouTube and Spotify at Better Gents Podcast, and follow us on Instagram, TikTok, and Twitter at Better Gents Pod. Thank you and take care.